So I'm thinking about kind of this is a good segue into why does a business need to be on YouTube? Some people would say, even my dad has said to me, now generational allowances, but why would you want to do that on YouTube? All the things. What would you say to a prospective client, maybe from a business or even an individual perspective? Why would they want to be on YouTube?
Because YouTube is now that it's so vast, the amount of information that is given on YouTube, both from a purely entertainment standpoint, but also an educational standpoint. The numbers are overwhelming of how many people are now getting their news right from YouTube, but also doing their shopping research. And I will absolutely testify to the fact that I don't buy any piece of, any of this equipment or virtually anything without going onto YouTube to look at the reviews, because inevitably
Yeah.
there's a guy who's got a channel who reviews cables, how to hook up the right HDMI cable. And he'll do this incredible job of like explaining and saving me tons of money, and there's just thousands upon thousands of people that are producing that content. And YouTube is just that natural place to get it and to get that information. You get that sight and sound, and you get that personality coming through, and that which adds trust. And YouTube is just so widely distributed. I mean, I probably watch as much YouTube on my Apple TV on my big screen as
Yeah.
I do other types of content, whether it's series or movies. And so it's just something that we all need to understand, that that's where the viewership is going for sure.
The other thing I like too, and I'm thinking about a business owner, right, is I can go in and actually see what content works and what doesn't resonate, and then index, future content on the stuff that actually works and resonates. Going back to sending out flyers or whatever, kind of legacy marketing, activities are. You're kind of shooting in the dark. At least in YouTube or even other, Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they all have those analytics parts that you can
Mhm.
dive into and really refocus your efforts pretty quickly to ensure that your audience is, that you're giving your audience what they want, and that they want to keep coming back for.
Absolutely. And, and you can get really accurate about, okay, well, that video sent them to this particular page on the website that you paid probably a bit of money to get developed, right? And you can see when they engage with that website, where is
Totally.
it they're dropping off? Are they dropping off, right in the middle of the tell me about you section, or are they dropping off pretty consistently right at the end when they view the price, and that can give you enormous insight into, well, maybe it's the price that, is the problem here. And, you can adjust,
Mhm.
your offering in that sense. So I think it's just such a tool for providing messaging and also providing intelligence for you as any business owner.
And it's another level or another way to engage with your potential customer, right? Because they in the comments or even in the community posts, right? Because they're commenting, you're responding back, and then suddenly that segues off of YouTube onto, like you said, to your website, and now they're actually a client or a customer. And to me, that's just better than having, we all have the little let's chat button on our website, right? Which is AI driven, right?
Yep.
But if you can get somebody and you're actually engaging with them on a specific topic and having a conversation, I think those people are more likely to come through the door and be more solid leads than just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right. Throwing money at it and praying. And it's
Right.
and it's also the fact is, if you're a business owner, go onto YouTube and look up your competitors, whether they be local or maybe regional. Look up your competitors, because everyone is engaging on this platform, every single category. And so, you'll learn what your competitors are saying out there in real time. And that's intelligence you have to have. But you can also see in the comments, like you were saying, what your potential customers are saying about their offering or the questions that they ask. So allowing you to adapt your messaging on a continuous basis. I mean, it's just it's such an enormous flow of feedback that I think is absolutely valuable.
Even there, you just have to have a little bit of a thick skin, because there's trolls out there in their grandmother's basements that have nothing better to do than to comment on your videos. And
Yeah.
I had one the other day, and I'm just like, I engaged, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And I just blocked them. This video was recorded and produced by Just Talk Studios, the premier video podcasting studio in Bellevue, Washington. Visit justtalkstudios.com to learn more and book your session today.